really see it here as like, you see how it's thickening up there?
Yeah.
And the outside still needs a little bit more stirring. But once it's fully integrated, and then as the silicone cures, it'll continue to thicken up. So you can kind of get an idea. So that's another reason you don't want to add too much, because if you add too much at the beginning, your working time is going to get cut down, and it'll be almost impossible to move it, you know? But see how, like now we do this, it doesn't fall,
Yeah.
whereas before it was just sliding off. So this is what we want, kind of a thick peanut buttery consistency, and then we're going to get a new, there we go. We're going to get a new stick. So that one away. Do I want to in the trash there? All right, and from here on out, for a couple of minutes, I just need you to stay straight up and then keep your face like that, okay? Don't let it drip too much. And I'm going to grab up a little bit of this and just start making some areas where we're going to have your wounds. Okay? And turn to your right a little bit. There you go. Hello. Yes. And do a small one here. What we want right now is just to set it up so that the edges are blended to the rest of your skin, and we'll come back and make the little wounds more scary looking and stuff.
Realistic?
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll get to the realism as we go through with the makeup, but the wounds themselves are going to be, like I said, kind of like exorcist-ish, you know, like they're cuts into your actual face. So we'll work on that part in a second. But the most important part of any of this is to blend to the skin. And if we miss that while we are able to work with the prosthetic, I mean with the silicone, then we don't really get that time back. And because it's much more difficult to make it look realistic. And the heat, like your body heat and all that stuff, also helps to start curing it earlier. So, you know, right now on your face, probably they're starting to cure a little bit more, which is fine. That's what we want, because it's kind of cold in here. Jagged-ish one here.
Still starting to look like wax.
Huh?
Starting to look like wax consistency. It's getting thicker.
Yeah. And so as it goes along, it thickens more and more, which is good. Like once you learn kind of like the steps of it, you know, like the modes that it goes through, then you know when you get to shaping a little bit more. And that's why the thickener is important, because without the thickener, the silicone will still thicken up a bit, but it won't stay on there long enough for you to actually be able to shape it. So for us, you know, getting it on there, making sure those edges are, you know, pretty well feathered out, then will allow us to come back in and actually shape it on the inside.
Look, are you going for today?
So this is going to be a little kind of like, almost like an exorcist-ish look. Not. I don't want it to look like The Exorcist, but it's going to be kind of a, you know, like a person that scratched themselves maybe a little too much, you know, a little veiny, almost going towards demonic. Because the original prosthetic that I had made was like kind of a demon, you know. Now you can get this and dip it in
What do you?
in alcohol, 99% alcohol, and then you can come in and do that. So
Oh, you dip your stick in alcohol.
yes, close your eyes because this is 90% alcohol. Dip your face a little bit more, just so that it runs down. I don't want.
Oh, so that's gonna cause like a crease in like the wound?
Yes.
It's actually producing a cut.
So that's
Yeah.
making a cut?
Yes, and it's allowing for the stick to go through without really disturbing the silicone, you know?
Yeah, because otherwise it would stick to the silicone.
Yeah. And so we want to be able to get the sculpture part of it in there, you know? And yeah, if we didn't do this part, then it would be really, really difficult. So, and we're starting to get there. The silicone is starting to set up a bit. I can feel it, you know? It kind of like starts working against your.
So it looks like a lot of silicone.
Oh, I was telling them earlier, the silicone itself, I rather always mix up more than too little because it doesn't stick to itself.
Once it sets, that's it. You can't build up on it.
Yeah, I mean you could try it, and there's definitely ways to go about it, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get it to look real. So, we're putting one right here, right on here. So it's usually better to try it while it's still in this format, you know. Some more alcohol. Don't eat it, okay? Sorry. Go ahead and relax. So yeah, silicone's very expensive. You don't want to waste it or whatever. But for the most part, I always rather mix up more because yeah, if I have a lot left over, at least I have a good makeup. But if I don't have enough, sometimes it can.
So you can also waste it if you don't have enough.
Yeah, exactly.
To start over.
That's a really good way to put it. It is a waste. You're trying to save on it, but it's literally a waste because you can't use the makeup. Now, as it's getting to this point here where it's already starting to dry, is when you can. It's not as much sculpture, but it's trying to get a little bit more organic feel. So some of these like tears and stuff, we can pull on them a little bit, and you start getting a little bit more jaggedy edges, which is more realistic, if somebody was to cut themselves in whichever way they did.
So you're gonna eventually cover her whole face in makeup, pretty much?
Yes and no. I mean, we don't have to. The good thing about silicone is that it's a translucent material. So that's why building up these edges, and not building them up, turn your head down a little bit. That's why getting the edges really down is important because they're so translucent that it just disappears, the edge disappears. And the point of that is that you want the translucency, it looks a little bit more like realistic skin. And so you don't want to overpaint, because if you overpaint, then you might as well have used latex, right? Which is an opaque thing. You want to use the translucency of the material. So we're going to paint mostly around these, not so much around her whole face, because then again, it's sort of like overdoing it. I don't know if I explained that correctly. I hope I did.
I mean, that makes sense to me. You want to take advantage of the translucent properties when you do
Close your eyes, yeah? We're gonna let that sit for a little bit, okay? You're doing great. So good thing is we have a little test palette here, so we'll be able to tell when it's dry enough, This particular type of silicone is what's called a platinum-based silicone. Usually it's 50-50 in mixture. Since y'all missed that part, it's part A, part B. We just did equal parts, and then you mix it together. I used silicone paints to get a little bit closer to like her skin color or a skin tone, knowing that we would, again, put a little bit of makeup on top of that. And I used flocking, the darker tan instead of like the lighter one, you know, in her case, and some red flocking as well. Have you all ever seen flocking before? No? Let me show you real quick. Actually, I'll show you this.
Is it like the stuff they put in like jewelry boxes?
I think they do.
In fishing stuff, and it's basically a pigmentation. It's not as fine as pigment powder. I mean mica powder, but it's like it.
Yeah,
It's just
because you
denser.
can't paint with this stuff. But if you think of like what's called like the thing people make like sweaters out of, that what's it called, yarn or whatever.
Yarn, yeah.
So it's like that, like just minced. So I'm gonna show you on top of this so you can see it. I know you're kind of far away, but if you can kind of see this, it's just minced. Like you see how like it just floats away.
Yeah.
Oh look, I got a bunch of it on you. Sorry. So this creates a little bit more of a breakup in the silicone, so it's not solid like, you know, one color.
Yeah.
Because our skin's never solid one color, you know. Sorry, I got it all
Oh,
over.
that gives you like little spots and splotches.
Yeah. So when the silicone is before we pigment it, it's pretty much clear, and then we add then we add the pigment that I showed you guys on this one right here, right? So I add some of these pigments, and that gets it closer to a skin color, and then we add the flocking that's a little bit more skin color to break that up also, so it's not just that one skin color, and then the red, a little bit of the red to make it
So
go.
everybody has a little bit of red face in their skin color.
Not what you
Yeah.
did in my poor pants.
But I told you, the good thing is this doesn't get painted.
Yeah.
This comes off. But yeah, thank you very much for volunteering your pants too. So the silicone itself, again, takes about 6 to 8 minutes usually to start getting to what we call gelling. And this is essentially that state. It's a little cold in here, so it takes a bit longer. But once it's gelled enough, like it's still going to be sticky. But once it's gelled enough, it'll stop becoming sticky, and that's the point where you want to start adding like more like makeup and all that. So we're going to probably give it another like 3-4 minutes here, the way it is, and then we'll start adding some alcohol-based paints. Now, alcohol-based paints is the best thing to use on these kind of silicone makeups, because you really want, like I said, to keep the translucency, and alcohol-based paints are almost like watercolors. It's just pigment that is activated with 99% alcohol. So you use it like watercolor. They're very, very thin washes of pigment or whatever. And you'll see in a little bit how that works. And that shows through the actual silicone underneath it. So it's really cool. So you're doing pretty good.
Good girl, I'm so proud of you.
It feels like when you get like wet cotton or wet paper towels, it feels like that's been stuck all over my face.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I just got a freebie face cleaning kit, so
Oh,
I'll
there
have
you
some
go.
wait for you.
Awesome.
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Got some interested parties here.
Very good.
Which is good. We're just waiting now for this to dry up a little bit before I start putting in some paints to continue with this look. And it is a demo, but of course, you guys know this because you've been in these a while, but you're welcome to ask any questions anytime that you want. Even about your own projects, this is all I do. If anything, since nobody was here, I didn't even do my intro, which is usually like, hi, my name's Sergio, and I do special effects and whatever. So, if you don't know anything about me, I do special effects for a living, and I do masks, props for the Halloween industry. I do haunted house consulting, and I now have the Texas Horror Museum in San Antonio, Texas. So if you guys ever go to San Antonio, it's all about South Texan, Central American folklore and legend. So instead of like Chucky and Freddy Krueger and Jason, it's like La Llorona, La Lechuza, things like that,
And, you were on Face Off.
Yeah, and I was on Face Off like, whoo, forever ago. Yeah, but people still remember. It's crazy. So yeah, just love doing makeup effects, making monsters, and work on films. The good thing about the museum now is that I don't have to wait for a film to be able to work on a monster. Like I've always wanted to do a Medusa, but you know, that may never come my way. You know, like a project where I can make the Medusa that I want. But with the museum, once we're done with leyendas, which is the stuff I was telling you about, which is like, you know, folklore from like Central America and all that, and about a year, then leyendas will go on the road, and then we'll install like monstrous mythologies, and that'll have my Medusa that I've always wanted to make. So I don't have to wait for films now. I could just be like, oh, this year I'm going to theme it out to vampires, and now I'll do whatever vampire I want, you know. So that's kind of a cool thing. Let's see how we're doing.
Are there any safe prosthetics for where I can keep at least some of my beard?
Well, you can what?
Keep at least some of my beard.
So.
I don't gotta trim my- Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the best thing is if you find a prosthetic that you can trim under, so the edge goes over. Like let's say you're gonna do a werewolf or whatever, right? Where it doesn't end where your beard is, and you can get one that's longer. You can also extend some prosthetics, even with regular latex. So you can make a thin sheet, like find a table that is like non-porous, like or a piece of plexiglass, you know, something that's non-porous and doesn't have like texture like this or whatever. And then get some latex and a sponge, and then just sponge latex on there, really, really, really thin. Okay. Make a big sheet of it, like at least, you know, like 8 by 10, like a sheet of paper or whatever. And let that dry, then do another layer, and then do like one more layer. 3 should be enough. And powder it, and then you can peel it off the table, and you literally have like a latex skin. So you can glue that to the underside of the foam latex prosthetic, wherever it ends, and then you can kind of like reach around your beard to a cleanly trimmed area that you might have, and then glue it really well there with Prozade adhesive. That's probably the strongest adhesive for latex that you can use anyways. So it just depends what the prosthetic is, because something like a werewolf, that works because you can cover it with fake hair. If you were trying to do a vampire, that might look weird, right? So that might not be usable. But for a zombie, you could do that and then put other stuff on top of it. And then nobody would know that you have a beard under there, you know? Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be working with gelatin, and gelatin can go on your hair. It does suck sometimes getting rid of it, but it literally can go on your hair because it will remelt when you take a shower. Just hot water, and then it'll start melting off, and you can peel it off. So I put like, and actually this is still done, you can like put gelatin over somebody's hair completely to mat it down, and then again, it gets hard, and it does suck sometimes when you're like, ow, it kind of hurts just pulling it, but it comes easily off with hot water.
Okay, yeah, because the last time I did, you know, I told you about the latex and all that, I didn't have a beard. I know how bad it was to get it off, because I accidentally got some of my sideburn, and that took a while.
Yeah, I did a werewolf, and maybe that's why I keep saying werewolf, the word werewolf, because I'm traumatized. I did a werewolf makeup one time on myself, because the actor that was supposed to be there didn't show up, and I was like, well, screw it, I'll just do it. And it was a foam latex prosthetic, and it was right at like this area here, and I couldn't get it to reach under, and I had more hair because I didn't prepare for that, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna put it over it. So I put a lot of Prozade on my beard and like matted it down, and then put the piece on top of that or whatever, and that night was not good. You know, at the time it was like, oh, I'm gonna make this happen, and then later I was like,
Face wax.
yeah, pretty much. It was bad, but yeah. So see, now we're getting to a better stage of it where it's like it's not as sticky. Still a little sticky, but you know it's not gonna like pull up anything there. So we can start adding a little bit of makeup, and just in case, I'm gonna start around your eyes with a regular grease makeup. So just give this a little bit more time. I can, but I have a lot easier time
Yeah.
being tactile, you know?
It's a texture.
Hmm. Plus, like, I test stuff out sometimes, like on my wrist, and
That's what I do.
yeah, I'll have to like do things here that might involve my fingers, so I just better do it without it. Okay, close your eyes.
And this is grease paint here.
Yeah, this is regular cream paint, just because it's better on the eyes, you know, or around the eyes. You don't want to put the grease paint or the cream paint on top of the silicone. I'm doing this because I know I'm going to stay away from the eyes a little bit, but I want to give them depth. And then the alcohol-based paints you don't want to put in somebody's eyes because that's going to burn a lot. Because it's 99% alcohol, so. And I didn't finish explaining. So you don't want to put this on the silicone because again, nothing really wants to stick to silicone, and this will just rub right off. So it won't stay very well on silicone. Add a little bit of breakup around the face. Hello.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? We're just, you know, creating a demon or something here. So we use some silicone buildup to just make some kind of like cuts on her face, you know. Maybe self-inflicted, maybe she's a little possessed. We don't know yet. Her mom gave me a lot of horror stories to kind of build off of, so. And the silicone is just about ready for makeup. We're using a cream-based makeup right now because I wanted to go around her eyes just to kind of deepen them a bit and all that. And we're going to use alcohol-based makeup for the silicone because that's the only thing that really wants to stick to it. But this is giving me a little bit more time for it to start drying, just to add some character here. And those of you guys that just walked in, if you got any questions about anything, feel free to let me know.
For sure.
Yeah. Are y'all mostly curious, or do you do your own makeups or anything?
Yeah, just walking around, checking it out.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How's everybody liking the convention?
Really nice.
Yeah? This is my first time at this one.
Yeah, that's our first time here too.
It is way better than last year.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's good.
They were supposed to be in the Emerald Hotel convention, so
Uh-huh.
then they couldn't get it built in time, so they had to use the old Church Unlimited building.
Oh.
And the walkways were about half the size of the width of the vendor.
Wow, okay, yeah.
So it's hard.
Yeah, last convention we went to was in Dallas and it was half the size of this. Yeah, it was small. It was really small. Yeah, but I haven't seen like AI art either.
Yeah, no, I think they did.
Actually, about that, there's one vendor I won't name, but they were apparently doing AI art here.
Really?
I'm going to be on the probably minority here, but I think when it comes to AI art, I think the thing is if you tell people what you're doing, and if it's something that you originally create, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Using it as a tool.
Yeah, exactly. Using it as a tool, I agree, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you're making your own like mystical landscape that no one else thought of.
Exactly, yeah, that's completely understandable.
I use AI to get ideas and then I paint them in my style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I used to do, because I do, you know, film, so I have to come up with like creature designs.
Right, yeah.
And then what the process usually is like, you know, I'll talk to the director or producer, we'll go through the script, we get kind of an idea of what they want, and then I'll usually draw that out. And what I do is I'll do 3 different versions of something, and I'll be like, hey, look, based on what we talked about, this is what I think we could do, like realistically on a human being, right?
Yeah.
And then tell me which direction you want to go in, you know? So they'll say, hey, you know what, I really like A, you know, can we do something from C, you know, on that?
Yeah.
And then I'll come back with another, you know, after that talk, another version and say, okay, here's kind of what I'm thinking you're saying. Is this better? Oh yeah, that's way more like what I want. Okay, awesome. And then I'll do a final, like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And but that whole process can take like 2-3 months.
Oh, absolutely,
you know?
yeah.
And it takes me a while to draw that stuff out or whatever.
And I understand using AI as that tool to help you get those prompts going and everything like that.
Well,
that makes total sense.
Yeah, because I can get to a producer now, like my original 3 ideas in a day.
Exactly.
Because I know exactly what I want to show them. I'm like, look, this is what I want to make. This is what I'm going to make. I've been working with AI for a while, so I kind of know how to get it to do what I want it to do, so it doesn't just, you know, build on its own. So it feels still like my work.
Your work, yeah, it's just being
faster at rendering it.
And that totally makes sense.
He's
Yeah,
awesome.
I have no issue
He's
with
awesome.
AI in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mainly when people just do the whole like, you know, oh, like this is my art, and it's really somebody else's art practically.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that I agree with people, but I do have a lot of friends that are artists, and so sometimes we have that discussion because I'm like, you know, you have to really you have to grow with the tools that are built.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There was a guy, his name's Jack Pierce, who started like all the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
The Mummy, the Wolfman, Frankenstein. He did all those things, and you know, you can read stories about how Boris Karloff was in the chair for like 9-10 hours before they even started shooting. And you know, it was great work, everybody loved it, but towards the end of his career, other people had started doing FX, right, or makeup, and they designed like foam latex instead of latex and collodion and rubber and things that are harsh on the actors. Well, they got all the jobs. And he, who was the one that invented all this stuff, kind of ended up in, you know, broke, right? Because he didn't want to adapt to the new technologies that were coming out. The thought, from what I've read, was like, he was like, that's not the way you do it. This is the way you really do it. Kind of like a lot of my friends that are artists sound, you know, they're like, that's not how you make art. This is how you make art. And it's like, art is anything. I went to the San Antonio Museum of Art when I was 14 years old the first time, super excited, and the big exhibition was a brick in a toilet. And I was like, what is this? And
Completely subjective.
yeah, and I was like, all right, if this is art, then whatever I do is art too, I guess.
Exactly.
You know?
No, I get it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start adding some alcohol paints here. It's gonna be just a little bit on these wounds. Let's get you turning it out a little bit more. Thank you.
And you said the wounds are silicone, correct?
Yes, this is an actual silicone buildup, and it's dry enough now that it can take some of this makeup. So we kind of sculpt that onto the face.
Cool.
Yeah, it makes it really cool when you don't have like time for a prosthetic or something like that. Oh, and in case y'all came in here expecting a prosthetic, I apologize. It was my makeup box that had the prosthetic and my 99% alcohol and a couple of other things were stolen yesterday in the bus. So yeah, that's why we have to upgrade y'all to silicone. That's too much. The great thing about 99%, about alcohol-based paints is that the only thing that can activate them is 99% alcohol. So they don't come off. And that kills all bacteria, you know, cleans your brushes really well. and then when somebody's out like in the elements or whatever, you're not having to worry about the makeup falling off all the time.
Yeah.
Is latex, silicone, or gelatin easier to work with, or do they all have their own little challenges?
You know, I always tell people that it just depends on what your final outcome is, because like you said, they all have their own little like perks and challenges. So, you know, sometimes going through the hassle of doing foam latex, I see a lot of people doing silicone instead, which, hey, if you can afford the silicone, then that's not a horrible thing, you know? Go for it. But sometimes the heavier the pieces or the bigger that you want it to be, there's a bigger issue with the weight of it. And foam latex is really, really light. So even though it's a much bigger hassle to go through the process of making a foam latex prosthetic, at the end result, what you finally want, right, is I want this creature for a film or whatever, the actor's gonna be in it for like 12 hours. We don't wanna have to be reapplying constantly and at least look good. Then it's worth the hassle of foam latex, right? And like I said, sometimes with makeups and all that, you'll see people just using the silicone because it's not a hassle, it's not as much of a hassle, but then they have the bigger problem on the day of that they're like, their pieces are falling off. We were just talking about, right, like you said, your friend or your sister or somebody?
My friend, yeah.
Yeah, had the same kind of issue. Oh, you're welcome. I'm gonna go near your eye, okay? So tell me if it gets a little too spicy and we'll stop and let you breathe. And then we're just stippling some of this because again, it's better to have like a breakup in the skin than like a solid color. Trying to keep it thin as we build it up in layers. And go right under your nose, okay?
like a film kind of project,
Mhm.
you would probably have a lot more light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Little better setup's always helpful, you know? But you'd be surprised how things go sometimes on film, you know? I've been on projects where we have like no light at all. It's crazy. But, you know, you gotta make it work as best as you can. Like I'm doing another film coming up where we're gonna be, I think in Fredericksburg, there's this old church. And it's cool. And the only thing that troubles me sometimes when like directors will start sending me the location and telling me, look how cool the location is that it's a really old looking church. It looks awesome. So there's probably no power and no light, you know? So I'm like, it does look cool. And at the same time, I'm all sad because I already know. But you know, you just got to do the best as you can.
So what kind of brushes do you use?
So a lot of the things that I use end up like destroying the brushes. So most of the brushes that I have are just like Walmart brand. You know, I tried the whole like, you know, you buy a $90 kit or whatever. And nobody that does this for a living all the time has that. Now everybody's got their good brushes and things that you take on set when you're like, everybody wants to be like, you want to impress other people and stuff, you know. but that's not really so.
Well, everybody has their like preferred choice of brush.
Yeah.
Like you have yours, which is Walmart brand.
Yeah. Well, and again, because most of the time they do the same thing.
So
right?
you just use a lot of nylon bristle?
So for the cream makeups and stuff, I like to use the natural because it's softer, and you know you're not poking your actor as hard or whatever, you know. But it really just depends on the day. I mean, like this is probably gonna sound bad for a makeup artist, but like I make monsters for a living, right? I don't consider myself a makeup artist like some people that I know that do this also do like hair and beauty and all that. And I think it's more important for them to have like nice things that, you know, you can get at Sephora or other places or whatever, because people care about that. But when I'm making somebody to look like this, you know, or making a monster, it's really not the time. If you're gonna have an actor that's that picky, possibly, they probably shouldn't be a monster, you know. So to me, that's how I see it. And you know, and again, it's not. I like to take care of my actors, of course, but it's just nature of the beast that, you know, most of the stuff, like I said, you know, if you're shooting in a church in Fredericksburg with no air conditioning, no power, no nothing, and you're having to make a monster, you have to be there for other reasons than like, you know, beauty and things. Close your eyes, just in case. Hi, how you doing? So we're doing a silicone buildup. If you looked at the schedule or whatever, it might have said foam latex application, but my kit got stolen yesterday and I had my foam latex piece. So we have to upgrade y'all to silicone. So it's a little different as far as the demo goes, but it's also something that you know, people can do on their own. So in that way, it's kind of good because you can try different stuff. We'll go and deepen these here in a little bit. some depth here in a bit. But the good thing about the silicone buildups is that they stay pretty flexible. So, you know, when you're moving your neck around, you know, like latex, you know, usually wouldn't be this flexible. It starts kind of wanting to peel off or whatever. So a soft silicone is really good, you know. You can still move it, so. We haven't killed her yet.
Darn it. Try harder.
That's actually looking really cool, Bish. Wanna go to the cosplay contest as a zombie?
Probably.
I ain't paying that much.
Oh, you gotta pay for the contest?
Yes, you do.
Oh, wow. How much?
I'm not even sure. I gotta see. I haven't even checked it out. It's
I
not.
logged into the kids one wearing my zombie box.
Doing good, Bish.
And alcohol paints again are really cool because you can build up like layers, you know. So here I'm just kind of like mixing another color for the wounds. That'll match a little bit better and make it a little more disgusting. And you just build it up in thin layers so that you're able to see like the colors coming in. So it really is like painting with watercolors.
Looks really real.
Neck, yeah. Well, I think the jagged edges kind of make it really.
Yeah, if I would have known I was going to do something like this, I never did this at like the Old Rome's Con or whatever. But do y'all know what epsite? I don't ever say it right, but I use the thing all the time. epsite or opsite tape is? No? So people use it that have like hernias or colostomy bags and things like that. It's a type of tape that you use so that you could seal something really, really well on the skin. So the adhesive is really, really good. It stays on forever. So you use that for those kind of wounds or wound care and all that. Well, I don't know, a couple years back, I didn't really know how to do that at the time. I was using regular plastic bags to make bladders and things, you know, for blood and for pus and things like that. But a friend of mine showed me how to do it with opsite tape. So it's the same process, but the good thing about it is that it's a lot thinner. So when I'm trying to do like blood rigging, in the old days, the hardest part about it is that you're trying to get a tube. Let's say she was going to be in a film, right? So we let go of her hair, she's ready to go, but they want to see this wound like bleed. So the hard part was like, okay, I got to get a tube from behind her somewhere, kind of stick it underneath that prosthetic, you know, hide it as best as possible. But a lot of times it's still too easy to see, or once you start pumping blood through it, the tube itself starts moving, so then you could see the edge of it, you know. Well, that opsite tape is, you can create a channel in it, and it's very flat. So literally, we would put that down before we started this, make this on top of that, and then just make a little cut in here, and then push the blood through the back in with a tube that goes into the opsite tape pathway that you made, so that it almost doesn't balloon up until you want it to, and then it'll bleed like really, really cool. It's an awesome technique. I was really happy when they showed it to me. I was like, wow, that's freaking cool. Hello.
Want to buy some pizza? Since y'all can't come out?
Oh, I can't eat it either, but thank you. Appreciate it.
We're good. Thank you.
It's like my stomach says yes. We'll start working on some veining and then do a little bit more into it. Close your eyes, just in case. splatter with a bluish color. Then we just give it these kinds of names.
So that's just chip brush that you like cut down?
Yes, so I cut off a lot of it so that it can get like a little stiffer. And then we want to get some good, some alcohol in there so that it's not too thick of a consistency. We want it kind of like thin, you know? Because again, you don't want to overpaint this stuff if possible. You want to let some of that like show through. We're just going to add a little bit of a splatter like that. This gives you a nice little kind of shadow color that is gross. And gross is always good. Close your eyes. I'm going to do this for a couple of seconds and I'm going to give you a break, okay? Because it's going to be spraying right underneath your eyeball. All right, break. You can keep your eyes closed while you break if you want. But relax a little bit. There you go. And then I'll tell you when I'm about to go back on, okay? All right, take a big breath. There you go. And we're about to do a break. Break. You okay?
It's a little strong.
You good?
Yeah. No, because it got right in my eye. I'm like.
Yeah. No, it's pretty strong, so thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna do the one up here, okay? So keep your eyes closed and then just kind of tilt your head down a little bit. There you go. That way, if anything falls, it drips down and down. That one needs more. There we go. Break, turn to your right. The other right.
I don't know if that's right.
You're good. Everybody does that. Because you're all trying to help me, so you think it's like my right, so you're like, hold on, let me do the other one, and then, yeah. But I'm over here trying to help you, and I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. Right in your mouth. There you go. That's good. Let's stop. All right. And this is good. Sorry, you good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one more here, okay? Stuck with that one. Now let's bring down the red a little bit, just so it's not so bright. That's how it's gonna look because what's needed.
She's got some hair in her eye.
So what type of palettes do you use, like brands?
Well, for alcohol-based palettes, like makeup stuff like this, I do use this PPI product a lot because they have colors that I use a lot, you know. So in that way, it's helpful. You know, Skin Illustrator, PPI. Has different, like this is the effects palette, they have an Undead palette, which is that one, and they're just colors that I'm used to using a lot, so it's just simpler to buy from them, you know. But I am quite a cheap bastard, and so if you can find alcohol-based paints from another supplier, like Encore does pretty good Undead stuff, their colors are a little different, so they're a little more specific if I want something else. Like for the things we're doing today, we're not really using much of this, right? But these are cheaper than PPI, and they're just as good. So, and any kind of like makeup that is activated with 90% alcohol will work. And I go down to the type of color. you know, more than the makeup itself. Because the makeup itself is going to perform almost exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily have to worry about like, oh, do I have the right brand for this or whatever, you know? Most of the time, whatever you have is going to work. This is just going to darken some of these areas a little bit. I want to put some of the actual blend. And I need to get this guy.
I'm gonna zip up my jacket. Oh, it's cold.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
I can kind of feel the weight now.
You what?
I feel the weight of it. Like,
Oh, yeah?
The silicone weight.
But you know, the cool thing about the silicone stuff is that, again, it is heavier than the foam latex, but you know, while it's on like this, you know, like I said, it has a time limit. If you wear it all day, you sweat and all that stuff, it will start sliding off. So it's better to use a prosthetic if you're going to do a long-term effect like this, and the prosthetic can be glued down. But the cool thing is that it is, even though you feel the weight of it, it is flexible. So you don't have to worry too much. You know, you can still act and move around and do what you need to do without fear that it's going to be falling off. Sometimes if you do just a regular latex prosthetic, that's an issue with regular latex because it'll want to just come off because it's pulling from every angle. So. Let's do some veining on you. Janelle? Sorry, I can't talk while I'm doing veins because then you go all over the place. Last little push, okay? We're almost done with it here. Hello. We're almost done, sorry.
So you guys got some time, don't you?
Oh, do we? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have like 30 minutes or something?
Okay, awesome.
All right, but I gotta get picture. This is fantastic. This is so good.
This one's gonna feel a little spikier, okay? But just let me know if I hit you too hard. Not too hard? Maybe it's too hard, okay? This is not this part will take 5,000 years. There we go. All right, close your eyes. Turn that one. Let me make some gel blood. I'm gonna make it a little darker than usual. Yeah, it's gonna be like a little bit thicker blood, just because, you know, she's probably been like this for a while, so she wouldn't be like dripping everywhere. So I'm gonna make a little bit of fake blood.
So what's the thick stuff you're using?
So this Aquaphor, the gel ointment, I like a lot. I used to use this stuff called Cavicil, which is still useful, but again, everything, it always depends what your final go-to is, you know? Cavicil does stick in blood, but a lot of things don't like to stick to silicone, and for some reason, the Aquaphor doesn't seem to slide off as quickly. So I've started using this when I do silicone prosthetics because the gel stays on much longer, you know? Which is the point of a gel blood anyways, like you're wanting to put it on so it stays on.
So you're leaving them dried in place?
Yeah, it's literally the coagulated blood, right? So zombies or things like that, or just a normal wound that's stopped bleeding. And yeah, and Cavicil is really good still. Like I said, it's a good thickener to use. But I find this stuff works a little bit better with silicone. So when I use silicone, I will.
So it's the
Oh, shit.
Aquaphor and some corn syrup.
A little bit of corn syrup, just to give it like somewhere for my pigment to sort of diffuse into. Because this stuff you gotta be real careful with. It's just iron pigment, and I do it for, like, cause I make big batches of blood, you know. So using like food coloring and stuff like that stains people's, you know, clothes and stains your skin and all that. So I try not to use too much of it.
And this
I
is
want
just
this
like
one to be dark.
iron oxide.
Pretty much, yeah. Like if you just look for artist paints and you find the like, you know, red iron oxide, essentially, you know, and or like just whichever pigment that you feel, because you can make like weird other, you know, pus and yellows and things like that. See, and I got real lucky right now. Just off the bat, I pretty much got the color I wanted. Because like I said, you got to be real careful because this stuff pigments a lot. So if this falls anywhere and then water falls on it, it turns into a literal like paint, like liquid that goes everywhere. So a little bit of this goes a long way. How's she looking?
She's scared?
Scary looking.
Finally.
Maybe you'll stay away from her. That looks really cool.
Thank you. I'm gonna just finish her off here. It's always some of everybody's favorite step at the end, you know, when we do the blood. So again, this is more like dryish blood. It's been here for a while. I'm gonna come back and mess with that in a little bit. Huh. Did she actually look good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're all happy.
She beats me up.
She beats you up?
Uh-huh. I'm an
It's
easy
usually
target.
the other way around now.
I'm an easy target. I'm too nice.
Well, now maybe it looks like she might not. She might never look at you
Stay
again.
away for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what it is, and eventually when I have time, I might look more into it or whatever. But something in the Aquaphor just doesn't slip off the silicone as much, and that's why I like using it for this stuff. The other stuff, like I said, Cabo, does stick in the blood and everything, but it doesn't want to stay on a silicone prosthetic as much. Yeah, looking pretty gross. If you get some like white contacts, that would be freaking awesome.
Can I send my mom to go get some?
Is there like a white contact store around here or what?
There is, some of the drugstores have white contacts.
Really? That's freaking cool.
I just don't remember which ones.
Oh man. I don't think I have any water. Does anybody have any kind of like water bottle or something I could borrow just a little bit? No? There's not a restroom around here, is there, right?
What's in your cup?
This is tea.
It's mostly water.
I guess. Do you mind if I wet this a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. It's just, oh, it's actually lemonade. Closer. I'm just getting a little bit, and you're gonna smell like lemonade, okay?
Lemonade, no alcohol.
Just don't go outside, the bees are gonna follow you.
The wetness just kind of helps spread a little bit, more realistic. So turn that way. All right. Last one. It's okay. Do me a favor, just keep your face straight at me and then look up at the ceiling. And put a little bit on here. Sorry, this brush sucks. Hold on. I think there's this. Can you clean it? Yeah, this won't be better. All right. Try number 2. Tell me if it's too spicy, okay? Because I did clean it, so. Keep looking at the ceiling. Look at the ceiling. But face at me, and then look up there. There you go. Don't look down, okay? You're good. Almost done. All right. Yeah, you look like you've been better. Cracks in the lips there. All right, I think you're pretty dead. So, and then this blood doesn't like run all over the place, So again, if you twist your head around a little bit, go ahead and bring your hair down. Let's finish you off. We'll take a picture. But this doesn't get all over the place, and I love this mix now.
When you were doing the veins, does that darken up as it dries? Because when you were first doing it, I really couldn't see. I was like, what's it putting on there? I couldn't see them.
So the alcohol paints or whatever, sometimes when you first put them on, the alcohol is still in there, so you might not see it as much, and once it flashes off, it just leaves the pigment.
Yeah.
So as it dries, it might be more visible. Yeah. There you go. Can I dirty up your hair a little bit, or mess it up a little bit? Let me do something real quick. Just to make your hair look like a little greasier, like you've been possessed for a couple of days walking around the neighborhood and everybody knows what's going on. You're like, what's wrong with that girl? Oh, don't talk to us.
People already do that.
I think like a zombie actually walks in here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those Viking movies or Old West movies where like people have like veneers on, they look great, you know? It's like they're all dirtied up and then they're like, ha!
Yeah.
Okay, let's put some of this on you. Just to make it look like nice and stringy.
Just regular hair gel?
Yeah, this is just regular. It's actually, it's my backup. What I usually use is conditioner. Because the gel does get like tough, you know, it gets hard sometimes. Yeah, but the conditioner, it makes it look really stringy and stuff without having that toughness to it. But for today, this will do, you know. Well, let me leave this one open so you can see that one. Now, really don't take this the wrong way, but you look gross. There you go. Alrighty. Maybe let's take a picture. Do you mind if I take a picture here?
Nah, I don't mind.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much. You did great.